NorCal. 209 King of Comedy. It's Rick without the K. James presents, in my opinion, podcast.
All right, you guys, I got one question, and I wrote this question because I was visiting with you and your husband last weekend, right? When was it last weekend? It was, and you had brought up an ex. So I wrote the question about what do you think about people who bring up your ex after you break up, and how do you address them, right? And I say that because you started talking about my ex, and then and you go, oh, you know she has 2 babies or whatever, right? And I go, yeah, I know that. And then you go, what, are you stalking her? This, that, the other? And that made me, like, it infuriated me because I was like, no, I don't follow this bitch. But I know because of people like you that will keep bringing this woman up, man. And I told you that night, and I was like, I don't know what she's doing, but it seems to me like after you break up with someone always wants to tell you. So I want to know why someone wants to tell you, and how should you address that to them. Not everybody has their own podcast, so they can't.
That's true. I after reading the question, I find that it was pretty inconsiderate of me to ask you that, you know. In the after fact, I was just like, okay, I don't know how I would feel if someone did that to me, but I think it's because I saw you with her a lot, and, you know, when I see you now, like I kind of still think about her. And that's probably why I brought her up, but I didn't consider that it was, like, rude. And now that I'm thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have done that. And if it was me, I would have been like, I don't want to talk about her. And that's how I'm going to address that. But you were trying to be polite, you know, and not be rude. But I think I was being rude at that time for not thinking about that.
And nothing against it, because you got to know, like, I've known both you and your husband for, since our kids were in 3rd grade,
forever.
Right? So, and that kid they both graduated last year, almost been 2 years, right? So I've known you guys for a minute. So yeah, I mean, you saw, and I think it's just, I thought about it, and what I think it is it is that connection. It's the oh, there's a moment of silence. Oh, did you hear, like, and you're like, and you don't hear yourself saying it, and you're like, oh shit. Maybe he doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We saw you guys together a lot, you know. I mean, our relationship with you is mostly was with her too. So, you know, I think that maybe that's why I might have brought it up. But I'm sorry. Never again.
And I wrote this question partly for you, and I'm going to phrase it a little differently for you, only because you're newly divorced still, right?
Let me answer off hers first, then you change the question. First of all, I don't think it's rude at all. I think it's a sincere question. And the reason I think it's sincerity is because you relate him and her as a 4 or 5 year period that they were together.
Right.
It's like when you see somebody and you're like, oh, Drew, did you know so-and-so's this? Oh, hey, you know, and
the truth.
Sorry, Rick. Sorry, Rick. So Rick, you know, Rick, did you know that, you know, oh, and you think of it because it's like if you've seen 2 people together for 5 or 6 years together, when you go to, and you see them, when she sees that am I able to say the person's name? Or
yeah.
When you see Aida, which is your ex-wife, when you see Aida, the first thing she's going to think when she sees Aida is Rick. So I don't think it's a rude thing at all. I think it's just, it's.
All right, so can I ask her that next time you see Aida, you'd be like, hey man, you miss Drew?
Hey, I didn't ask you to
It's only fair. No,
that's not what
bring me up to her.
That's you interpreting it. She didn't say it that way. It was just, that made a memory pop up into her. When she seen Aida, she thought
so
it was.
with all that said,
I know it's coming.
You've been divorced less than 2 years,
right.
Almost 2 years, right? People still relate you and your ex-wife together. How does that get you to feel? And did you have that same train of thought, or you're like?
It's exactly how I said about hers. I feel her question was out of sincerity. It's how the person comes across to me, because there are those people that ask you a question because they just. You know, they just associate you 2 together because we were together for 12 years. And then there's those people that almost see if they can get a rise out of you. If they're, you know, oh.
Yeah, I do that to you.
Yeah, I know you do. But, you know, so it's how they come across.
Did you say Merry Christmas?
Yeah, it's how they come across when they're teasing you, you know. Did you say, yeah. So me and my mom was talking the other day, and we were talking about how all these holidays we're not having together anymore. And she brought up, here's my mom bringing up, because Christy's not in our life anymore. We don't have anyone to cook Thanksgiving. And I mean, stuff like that you just hear all the time. It's just, to me, it's automatic. It was part of my life.
Tell me she didn't say that around the new girlfriend.
No, thank goodness. But I mean, when it's stuff like that. But if someone goes out of their way to call up and say, like if she was to call you up just to say, hey, did you know how good Aida's looking? Or did you know Aida's got 2 beautiful children? That would be different. But if she ran into you and it just caused her to, oh man, I seen Aida the other day. That's sincerity.
I think so. I actually, that's a good answer, I think, because, I mean, James and I have been together for 28 years, right?
Yeah,
so, say we break up, every time you see me, you're going to think of James, and every time you see James, you're going to think of me, because we've been together for freaking almost 30 years.
It's the same. It's the same way with an eating place or doing something. If you have a partner you've been with for a long time, and say you guys have a favorite hot dog place or a steak house or a sushi house, if someone says, "Hey, let's go to let's go to sushi here," who are you going to remember? I mean, it's just automatic. So
no,
yeah.
And I think for you, if I'm giving you a hard time, it wasn't until you brought it up last weekend that I think there was a kinship there, only because. I want to say you were around the same age when you met James or whatever, and there is a 9-10 year difference between you two, as there was between me and my ex-wife. So it was kind of like, oh, you used to make fun of me all the time, like, oh, see, you two dirty old men always want us young women type shit. So I see the way it goes, and sometimes I just am a little sensitive.
And you say you guys have all been friends since Drew was a young kid, right?
Yeah.
So they got to see the whole 5, 6, 7, 10 years you were with Aida then, right?
Yeah, it wasn't 10, but yeah.
Well, we got to see the beginning, them getting married, everything. Yeah.
Well, when I say
and the fact that she worked with my ex's mom.
When I say 10 years, I'm counting the end, the stalking, all that.
You're so stupid.
Yeah, we can't forget the stalking.
Well, that'd be 12
We will
or
edit
15
that
years.
shit out, all right? Sean, that is where we edit.
She was the one you bought the camo clothes and hiding in the bush, right?
Jeez, you're trying to get me arrested. All right, let's take a
Boy,
break.
Charlie Murphy, my main man, Rick James. That's the one you think, the comedian Rick James. Get up.
I can't hear my neighbor crying, I can't breathe.
Please hit the subscribe button down low so you can see all new clips, all new episodes coming to you.